ambassador for ovarian cancer, and my main passion with that, and I will talk briefly soon just about some of the facts that surround that, but my main reason that I've come on board is I want to create awareness around the signs and symptoms of ovarian cancer, because to me I have been told since that maybe it might not have made a difference with Mum, but to me we were very unaware of the signs and symptoms that that are part of having ovarian cancer. And the fact that there is no early detection test means that quite often it can get far down the track before we know anything's wrong. So the story with Mum was, I distinctly remember being, so Baxter's 17 now, and I believe he was about 2, and it might have been his christening, like something like 15, 16 years ago at my in-laws' home, and we were all there, and Mum was kind of just standing next to me, as she does, with a bit of a, she was more of a drinker than I was, girls. We were talking about drinking before. My mum was a party girl, so she loved her champagne, and she was a smoker too, and so she would be having a cigarette and having a drink and complaining to me about her stomach and saying, "Oh my God, Nicky, look at me, look at my stomach, it's all bloated, I feel like I'm 6 months pregnant." And Mum would know what it would be like to be 6 months pregnant, because Mum had 6 kids, so she knew what that was like. So, me being naive about the signs and symptoms, as was Mum, I kind of looked at her. I was a bit of a goody two-shoes back then, and I kind of went, "Oh yeah, right, Mum. So drinking and smoking, your diet's terrible. No wonder you've got a pot belly or bloated or whatever." Mum would, I would like to take her out for lunch, and I'd go, "What do you want, Mum?" And she'd go, "I'll just have a toasted cheese sandwich, love," or "I'll just have a pie, love," So I always used to think, "Oh, you don't eat properly and you drink too much." So in my mind, you're just not looking after yourself. I was always at the gym. She would never exercise. So I went, that's what it is. So, suffice to say, we ignored the signs. And there was a bit of misdiagnosis as well. So when she wasn't feeling well and she went off to the doctors, and they just, at one point they said she needed to do more pelvic floor exercises, and another point they said it's because of all the children that you've had, and so it was a little bit of misdiagnosis as well. But like I said, my main aim is to present to you in the room the signs and symptoms, so that if it's something that you feel yourself, or you are talking to a girlfriend or your mother, then, the fact that you're here today listening to me might just, prick up your ears to encourage someone to go and get it investigated. So bear with me just while I read some of the facts so that I get them right, just so that I can impart a little bit of information on you all today. Please take, the brochures home and just have a read. You just never know. The facts do speak for themselves. Ovarian cancer has the lowest survival rate of women's cancers. In Australia, the overall 5-year survival rate for women diagnosed with cancer is just 46%, way too low. In comparison, the overall 5-year survival rate for women diagnosed with breast cancer is 91%. And this is due largely to the fact that there absolutely is no early detection test for ovarian cancer. You can't just go and do a test and see whether you have it or not. So part of our reason for gathering today is to raise awareness, and also to try and help raise a few funds to go towards finding an early detection test. That's one of the things that ovarian cancer are set on doing. Between 2014 and 2018, so 4 years, ovarian cancer received 4 times less funding than research for breast cancer and other cancers like prostate cancer. So the funding that we are receiving from the government is a quarter of what other cancer organisations are receiving. We need to up that so that we can create more research and find an early detection test. In 2020, approximately 1,500 Australian women are expected to be diagnosed with ovarian cancer. More than 1,000 of these women will die from the disease. So that's 4 women diagnosed and 3 women dying from ovarian cancer every day. If diagnosed in the early stages, women have like a 90% chance of being alive and well after 5 years. But our problem is that very rarely does anyone become diagnosed at an early stage. Unfortunately, 75% of women are diagnosed at an advanced stage when the cancer has spread, and it's very difficult to treat. So as I mentioned before, no early detection test for ovarian cancer, and 70% of Australians don't know or incorrectly this is a fact that I wanted to stress, that 70% of Australians don't know or incorrectly believe that the HPV vaccine that protects against cervical cancer, people think they're being tested for ovarian cancer. So it's two completely different things. And every time I speak about this, people go, I mean, perhaps it's all different now these days. I thought I was being tested for ovarian cancer. Completely different. So it's good to know that, or you need to know that when you do have those tests and they give you a clear, doesn't mean that you have also been tested for ovarian cancer. So the signs and symptoms of ovarian cancer most commonly include abdominal or pelvic pain, increased abdominal size or persistent abdominal bloating, the need to urinate often or urgently, feeling full after eating a small amount. So, these are things that we all complain about as women. So it is difficult. There's that kind of grey area. So I'm not wanting to scare anyone or, you sit there and go, oh my God, I always feel full, or, It's just about being aware, and if all of a sudden these things are something that you're finding, then you need to go and have things checked out. A woman is considered to have a family history of ovarian cancer because that's most often when you may be a chance of getting ovarian cancer yourself. If you have a first-degree relative that's been diagnosed with breast cancer at an age, because they're connected, breast cancer and ovarian cancer. So someone that's had breast cancer at an age younger than 50 years, if you have a first-degree relative diagnosed with ovarian cancer at any age, or a combination of the two, or indeed a male first-degree relative that's been diagnosed with breast cancer, which is, it's not something that we hear about often, but it definitely is something that is out there. Family history is not the only indicator of the presence of a BRCA mutation. Large ovarian cancer studies estimate that around 50% of patients who have a cancer-causing mutation have no reported significant family history of breast or ovarian cancer. So just because it's not in your family doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. I'm really appreciative of your attention now. It's like I could hear a pin drop in the room, but it's something that, like I said, I just want to get these facts across to you, and who knows where it might, help you or help someone else in the future. So interestingly enough, the latest research about ovarian cancer, it's not just one disease, but it's actually a collection of diseases with different characteristics. So this is something new that we have found because of research. So it's this knowledge that's required a major rethink of the way that ovarian cancer is being researched and how the research is being funded as well. But it's all taking us towards these steps of finding an early detection test, which is what is needed. So until recently, the treatment options for women with ovarian cancer hadn't changed much. However, the funding that comes from events such as this and the research has resulted in a discovery, which is great. We might have heard about some of this on the news, of new drugs. I'm a cricket mum. Let me recap. So until recently, treatment options for women with ovarian cancer, they hadn't changed much, but funding and research has resulted in the discovery of new drugs to treat ovarian cancer, notably a new class of anti-cancer drugs called PRP inhibitors. So these drugs are not actually a cure at this stage, but they are a promising indication that new and improved therapies can and will be found. We just need to keep raising the funds and campaigning to receive, at least equal funding from, the government and powers that be, and that's part of, what we're chasing. So I think on that note, once again, so grateful to have you all here. Let's continue to enjoy each other's company. Have a look at the raffle tickets and the silent auction, the gorgeous little bracelets that's, raise a little bit of funds that we can go back and donate to the cause. And we will continue to listen to the beautiful Kim Cooper. Thanks, ladies. I really appreciate your attention. And I'm happy to mingle and have a chat. And let's just all be diligent in the way we look after ourselves. Please put ourselves first, put yourselves first. We do often put everyone else before ourselves, listen to every little niggle or thing that's going on. Don't become a hypochondriac, of course, but, just get things checked and make sure that those within our families and our loved ones, no matter what it be. Like I'm here today as Ambassador for Ovarian Cancer, but, equally have been touched by that many of the cancers that we all have as well. So, let's keep our eyes and ears open, look after ourselves, keep healthy, and enjoy our company and our health today. Thank you.